Welcome back to the battlefield. My name's Jesse Meulman-Marshall. Today we've got the Avatar of Earth and the Battlemage going toe-to-toe. So the Avatar of Earth and the Battlemage, of course, are the two avatars in the alpha and beta sets that have more than one power. So they both function as effectively minions in a way, or threats that you can use to get your opponent's life total down quickly, meaning that if you're able to trade your cards one for one with your opponent and keep their board clear, you can actually trade profitably just by attacking with your avatar. But with both of these avatars having the ability to do that, it becomes a bit of a slugfest. The Avatar of Earth, of course, can scale up to be larger than the Battlemage because it doesn't have as much of a cap on its power. So its natural power is 1, but as soon as it starts getting Earth sites nearby, which is the site that it's on, plus the diagonals and the cardinal directions, it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, potentially getting up to 9 power if it's on an Earth site with Earth sites all around it. The Battlemage, rather than looking to use particular sites to power it up, has a bunch of artifacts in its deck that it's going to be using here. So the Battlemage starts off with a Ruby Core. We had the Boss Troll and the Foot Soldier from the Avatar of Earth. And I'm playing Avatar of Earth here down the bottom, and we've got Scott on the Battlemage at the top. So not a bad start for me. Scott then here coming in with a Highland Princess. So this is a really good acceleration start from Scott. So the Highland Princess into the Philosopher's Stone. It's going to allow Scott to actually play out fewer sites with the Battlemage, which is exactly what you want. And then a Sacred Scarabs, which you'd much prefer to have the Highland Falconer, but against the Avatar of Earth, having Sacred Scarabs to help take out the enemy minions can be really, really helpful, and at least be a good blocker to take out 3 and 4 power minions with ease. So we'll see if Scott's got a way to deal with that Sacred Scarabs there. The Foot Soldier attacks. The Highland Princess elected not to block. I was kind of expecting to bait out that block, but then Scott elects to block and trade with the Boss Troll and the Foot Soldier that was there attacking. So not too bad. Perhaps I could have attacked with the Boss Troll first and then got it with the Foot Soldier. Then we might have got the Highland Princess as well. So probably the right blocking decisions there by Scott, I think. And then we play out a Holy Ground and another Boss Troll. So keeping up that pressure on the Battlemage, keeping up some threats on the Avatar of Earth side of the board. Now the Battlemage really wants to land some threats of its own here. Possibly even grapple shotting in onto the Boss Troll would be good, and then attacking onto one of the Avatar of Earth sites for 3. But Scott's taking one more turn to just develop the board a bit here, playing out one more tower. Can't recall whether, I think it might be a Ruins underneath the Battlemage there, whether that lone tower is giving 2 mana or not. So it looks like Scott's got 5 mana. Yeah, it is a Ruins. So spending 4 mana playing out the Flaming Sword, and then didn't have a second play. The Philosopher's Stone, of course, not giving a discount onto the Flaming Sword because it's an artifact, so it's not a spell of a particular element. The Gothic Tower coming down here for the Avatar of Earth, meaning 5 mana this turn for the Earth player. And what am I going to use that on? I get in with the Boss Troll, expecting here to get the Highland Princess chump block, which we get, and then the Royal Bodyguard comes down. Now, Royal Bodyguard is one that I really enjoy in the Avatar of Earth deck. It allows for it really breaks up your opponent's play patterns a lot. It makes it harder for them to finish you off when you're at death's door, and just generally 4 for 4 is a nice place to be, especially with such a powerful ability. So the Battlemage comes in, takes 3 from the Boss Troll, but draws Scott a card, so possibly digging here for a few threats. I can see a Grapple Shot, possibly a Quarrelsome Kobolds. So Scott elects to Grapple Shot in with the Battlemage and start getting in. So I don't mind that. I think it probably would have been better. My preference when I'm playing Battlemage is to take as little damage as possible rather than going for the card draw off the attacks. So I can understand why Scott decided to attack the Boss Troll rather than grapple shotting the Boss Troll with the Battlemage, which would have killed it without the Battlemage taking any damage. Because if he'd grapple shotted the Boss Troll, he wouldn't have been able to then attack him with Battlemage because the Royal Bodyguard would have been able to block, and that would have been a bad attack for him, probably. I mean, the Flaming Sword still allows him to trade or kill the Royal Bodyguard, but he takes 4 damage. I don't know, it's an interesting one. This way he's guaranteed to get 4 in with the Battlemage on the Avatar of Earth site, which is not bad, using the grapple shot. So he then played out a Quarrelsome Kobolds, which deals 2 to the Royal Bodyguards at the end of turn, and that's about it. So that's probably just going to get eaten by the Royal Bodyguards next turn, you'd imagine. They're going to say, yep, we'll come in and eat those kobolds. So So the Kobold's really just serving as a speed bump there. And then I've buried the Flaming Sword, which is a really interesting one. So Flaming Sword, one of the more powerful relics for the Battle Mage, allowing it to get around blockers basically, because if I came in and tried to block next turn with a Foot Soldier, the Flaming Sword would still splash the damage onto my Avatar of Earth. So by burying the Flaming Sword, I'm giving myself the chance to defend with that Foot Soldier, but then a second Flaming Sword coming down, so countering my bury. So Scott's got a Flaming Sword, which means that my Foot Soldier is going to be ineffective as a defender, and that Battle Mage is also going to get that +1 power again, and it's going to attack me down to 12 here by dealing me 4. So not a bad spot for Scott here. The Quarrelsome Kobolds getting eaten by the Royal Bodyguards wasn't great, and the downside for him that turn was no plays. Really was a big speed bump in a way. So, I mean, he did get the Flaming Sword back onto the board. He had to spend all his mana doing that. So in a way, my bury actually proved to be a pretty fatal tempo play, or an important tempo play. We don't know if it's fatal. An important tempo play here because the Scott's return or response to it was to play out the Flaming Sword, but I was already ahead on the board in a way because I had the Royal Bodyguard and I've got the Avatar of Earth, and then the Atlas Wanderers really lets me drive home that advantage by moving my Avatar of Earth up adjacent to one of Scott's sites and allowing the Avatar of Earth to actually attack that turn. So when Scott made his plays, he wasn't expecting my Avatar of Earth to be able to attack that turn, or it could have attacked the Battle Mage, but then it gets struck back. But by using the Atlas Wanderers to swap the Avatar of Earth in, I was able to actually get some more damage in that turn with both the Bodyguard and the Avatar. And then there's now this 5 power Atlas Wanderer staring me down. Staring Scott down, I should say. So Scott's got now this Battle Mage. He's got a Tor's Hammer Trinket, so he's got up to 5 power. But is he going to be able to deal with that Atlas Wanderers other than chunking himself for 5 by attacking it? So he does elect to attack the Atlas Wanderers. Such a powerful unit, the Atlas Wanderers. Both the maneuverability that it gave the Avatar of Earth there, but also just the beefy 5 power minion that's left behind. And then a Gaia Hippogriff comes in as a defender, but it's not going to be enough. The Battle Mage had to spend the whole turn pretty much just dealing with that Atlas Wanderers, and I'm still ahead here on the board, really. I attack in with the Royal Bodyguard, threaten to put Scott to Death's Door. He's looking at the board saying I could defend with this Gaia Hippogriffs, which I kind of have to because I don't want to go to Death's Door next turn. But that Avatar of Earth can attack me for 3, and then that cheeky little Foot Soldier can get in for 1. So the Gaia Hippogriff sacrifices itself valiantly, tries to preserve the Battle Mage's life total, but the Avatar of Earth puts him to 1, and then the Foot Soldier puts him down to Death's Door, and an Amazon Warriors comes down underneath the Battle Mage and says, Tor's Hammer Trinket's got to go back to hand. Amazon Warriors comes down underneath the Battle Mage and says, if you don't have a way to get away from me next turn, I'm going to chase you down and deal the death blow. So things are looking pretty dire here for the Battle Mage. Scott, of course, could have had grapple shots and all sorts of things to deal a bit of extra damage, but dealing 12 damage and avoiding the death blow himself was going to be just a little bit too much. So the Battle Mage there not managing to keep pace with the Avatar of Earth's beefy units, just too many 4 and 5 power units, as well as those 2 boss trolls at the beginning of the game, simply outpacing the Battle Mage's ability to deal damage, and inevitably leading to the Avatar of Earth winning that race. Hope you enjoyed the game, and we'll see you next time in the contested realm with a game on the battlefield.